Okay, today we are talking about an absolute superstar nutrient for pregnancy, calcium. Seriously, it's the main building block for your baby's tiny skeleton, their heart, their nervous system, and it's just as important for keeping you strong and healthy through this whole journey. So, yeah, if you're building a tiny human from scratch, you can totally think of calcium as your secret weapon. It is working behind the scenes in some pretty incredible ways. So, let's get into exactly how. Here's a quick look at what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why calcium is so critical. Then we'll jump into the best foods to get it from, how to make sure your body's actually absorbing it, what you need to know about supplements, and then we'll wrap it all up with the most important takeaways. All right, part one. Why is calcium so crucial? This really is the foundation for a healthy pregnancy, not just for your baby, but for you too. So what's the magic number we're aiming for? Well, according to the National Institutes of Health, the big goal is 1,000 milligrams of calcium every single day for most pregnant women. Hitting this number is just so key to keeping everything running smoothly for both of you. Now, here's something pretty amazing. Your body will always put the baby first. If you aren't getting enough calcium in your diet, your body will literally pull it from your own bones and teeth to make sure your baby gets everything it needs. And that is why hitting that 1,000 milligram goal isn't just for the baby. It's absolutely essential for protecting your own bone health for years to come. Okay, on to part two, your top calcium foods. So how in the world do you actually get to that 1,000 milligram goal? Let's build a little blueprint for your next grocery list. As you can see, you have so many options. If you're a dairy fan, Greek yogurt is a powerhouse. You get about 200 milligrams per serving, plus all those great probiotics. For my plant-based mamas, fortified milks are amazing. Just a little pro tip, make sure you shake the carton really well because the calcium can settle at the bottom. And hey, don't sleep on canned sardines. Those tiny edible bones are packed with calcium, and you get a dose of brain-building omega-3s. For greens, cooked collard greens are a fantastic choice since your body can absorb the calcium from them more easily than from spinach. All right, let's move on to part three, making your calcium count. Because, it's not just about what you eat, but how well your body can actually use the calcium you're giving it. And this brings us to a kind of sciencey but super important word, bioavailability. All this means, in simple terms, is how much of the calcium from your food your body can actually absorb and put to good use. And trust me, not all calcium sources are created equal here. To get the most out of your calcium, it really helps to know its friends and, well, its foes. Vitamin D is calcium's absolute best friend. It's like the key that unlocks the door for calcium to get into your bloodstream. Then, magnesium comes along and helps activate that vitamin D. Now, on the flip side, a diet that's super high in sodium can actually cause your body to flush out that precious calcium, and too much caffeine can lead to small losses too. So, like with everything in life, it's all about balance. Okay, part four, let's talk about supplements. The best way to think about these is as your safety net, for those super busy days when your diet maybe doesn't quite hit the mark. They're not meant to be a replacement for good food. So if you're thinking about a supplement, here are three really smart steps. First, check your prenatal vitamin. Most of them only have about 200 to 300 milligrams, so you can't rely on it for everything. Second, remember the 500 milligram rule. Your body can only absorb about that much calcium at one time, so if you need more, you've got to split up the doses. And third, and this is by far the most important, always talk to your doctor first. Seriously, I can't stress this enough. As the Mayo Clinic advises here, your healthcare provider is your number one resource. They're the ones who can look at your specific diet and health history and figure out the exact dose you might need, which is the best way to keep you and your baby safe. All right, we're at part five, your strong start takeaway. Let's pull all of this together and really talk about how this protects both of you for the long haul. So, let's quickly recap the biggest points. 1, aim for that 1,000 milligram goal every day. 2, try to eat a wide variety of those calcium-rich foods we talked about. 3, remember to pair calcium with its helpers, especially vitamin D. And finally, if you do need a supplement, just use it wisely and always with your doctor's okay. Every single bite of calcium-rich food you take is literally providing the raw materials for your baby's strong bones and healthy heart. With everything we've just talked about, you are totally equipped to build that powerful foundation. We've really just scratched the surface here today. If you want our complete top 10 list of calcium-rich foods and way more detail on everything we covered, just click the link in the description below to read the full guide.